welcome to a Flirtatious Sunday Collective. Good morning, Ma.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm very well. How are you?
I'm great. I see Harshala and Ruchi joining in. Are you ladies ready to flirt with the angels? Amina,
Yeah.
Minna, Auntie Nitya. Tell me in the comment section. Parshwati, Arpita, Sunena, and all those who are listening in. What does flirting mean to you guys? While I ask Ma, who are angels?
Ooh, nice. So, the angels are just, soul beings or manifestations of the divine wish, and he sends them out into all the universes and also on planet Earth to do the work of the divine, to whisper in our ears, to show us some twinkling light in our eyes, to infiltrate our nose with recognition, to connect to our tongue and taste and talking so that we can speak the language of the divine. And then we use our hands, these lovely angelic hands that flirt with each other and caress and comfort and touch the truth that we are all in service, in accordance with divine will. We are living a life, and when we are stubborn, when we are engaging in our false ego self, then of course we are becoming a little bit, what do you call it, non-angelic or like having some
Maybe demonic?
reaction. Yeah, demonic. There are angels that are demonic as well.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and we can come to that in a little while. But
Yes.
right now, I think it's about flirtatiousness. And flirting, you flirt with your eyes, you flirt with your ears, your nose, your mouth, and your hands. And you hug and you touch and bewitch other people with your eyes. There's sometimes you look at some magic potion healers, and then somebody saying, I really love that man and I really want him, and can you do something? And of course we say do the healing, and if he's really in your karmic destiny, he'll come. But if you go to one of these so-called magic potion doctors, they'll give you something to put in your eyes, and when you look into the other one's eyes, then they fall hopelessly in love with you because there's a magical attraction. And then, of course, if the wrong one falls in love with you, then you know what's going to happen. And they're going to chase you and stalk you and do all kinds of things to, awaken your consciousness to either do better things or to finally make you do all the wrong things. So, I always say that flirt with the angels so that they can hold your hand, they can whisper in your ears, they can bring that sparkle in your eyes and touch your soul in a very special way so that your consciousness is awakened to align with the goodness and do the work of the divine in the physical body. And you also can be an angel of light. So as healers, we are all angels. We are all flirting with our hands, placing them on different parts of our body and singing the songs of our soul self to create magic in our life. So I think that maybe because the eyes and ears and nose and mouth and the hands have come up, so maybe we should really look at the eyes. They are the real angels. And the whole energy around our eyes is filled with the light. And when we look at something, we can always see the goodness in it. We can always convert it to bliss. We can always awaken to, the shining light of the goodness in other people. And the angels are very real. They're always showing us, they're always shining the torch or that spotlight, and they're saying, look, see, this is the real thing. But sometimes we keep our eyes closed. And then, of course, the ears. The one task the angels do is awaken the sound of our inner intuitive self, ever attentive and very comforting. and they tell us that the divine really loves you and everyone loves you, and don't feel abandoned, don't feel, don't feel unhappy, because the conversations of our inner soul self and the angels are always ongoing, and they're always trying to awaken that listening, listen. But do we listen? No, we just hear and we rush in where fools would fear to tread. And then of course the nose, that is our first line of defense. At the time, even with infections and all, the nose is always protecting us. It's also the place of self-recognition. It's also where we are taking our breath and our breathing is going into the lungs, and we are filtering out sometimes even infectious diseases and things. And we are calling upon, the symphony of recognizing the goodness in other people. And, we have that saying that I smell danger.
Yes, ma'am.
So it's also that instrument that tells us that, we need to seek the help of the angels. We need to flirt with them, and we need to bring that flavor, that taste into our mouth, that we are going to speak the truth. We're going to listen to our own self speaking. Sometimes you say something and then people say, oh, I didn't mean it like that. I didn't really want to say that. I don't know how it came out. And the reality is that what came out is really the truth of your soul. And the angel is forcing you to speak it and not let you speak the untruth, so that you can be delivered in that purpose of not creating bad karma. So our mouth has the ability to taste and also to speak. And the angels are always in that, creating the speech and destroying the negative, so that you don't speak it. And of course the hands are forever always touching and reminding us that we are very, very connected to the divine. We are very connected to our heart. The energy is flowing, and we are so in symphony with touching the truth, hearing the truth, seeing the truth, and smelling the truth. And then the truth is that we have to create our defense mechanism, and we have to flirt with even our own body. If we say, I love my body, is that unnatural? But I know that many people feel that they should not tell themselves that, love. And remember that the angels travel with us, are always connecting to us, and even at the point of death, they're going to facilitate our journey as we're going to move into the next realm. They're going to hold our hands, these lovely hands. They're going to hold them and say, come, I'll show you the way. I'll take you to the destination. I'll take you to that one act of service in accordance with divine will. And you're going to move to that frontier with a huge amount of light and a huge amount of wellness. And you're going to trust. So that trust comes from the flirting with the angels even in your living body. So we must be open to reflecting on the greatest gifts that we receive from our faith, how they protect us in our challenges, how they're always, coming in at that last moment. It could be another human being who comes as an angel and maintain us in reminding us that we have the capacity to be peaceful inside, even if there's chaos outside, and how to touch that, touch that part of yourself. I remember that once I taught this, this Raksha, Lord Shiva's Raksha Kavach Stotra. Maybe Divyana can chant it for you.
Yes, ma'am.
Om Ram Jum Sa Mam Kutum Rakshaha Rakshaha Palaha Palaha Sajum Rong Om Rong Jum Sa Mam Kutum Rakshaha Rakshaha Palaha Palaha Sajum Rong Om
jung sa mam kotum rakshaha rakshaha palaha palaha sajung rong om.
And why this mantra came up just now in my consciousness is that somebody was in Israel just before the war started, and then they were taking a flight out, and they were really praying and hoping that they could get out before the war intensifies, and then they said that suddenly, we don't know from where, this mantra came into our consciousness that Renooji had taught it to us many, many years ago. And they said that they started chanting it, and for a few moments, they couldn't remember the full mantra.
Oh.
And then they were writing it, and they were thinking, what is the word missing? What is the word missing? And then finally, they said that it was almost like they heard my voice telling them that these are the missing words, and they fitted it in and they chanted it. And they chanted it all the way in the flight and all the way back till they landed on Indian soil. And I was like, telling them that it's actually the angels that come when you really need them. And they will whisper the mantra into your ears. They will tell you the affirmation, the intention. So they're also flirting with us. They also need our love, and they also have harnessing qualities of great magnitude because they're bringing that divine invention of light to the portals of the human realms. So remember that planet Earth is surrounded by lots of angelic beings. So Divya's thinking what to say.
No, I'm not thinking what to say. I'm just thinking about the angelic beings, and in every situation, I was wondering actually how many are present at any given time on planet Earth. Lots.
Because they're praising and striving to serve the divine. And of course, like you said, there are angels, there are demons, there are the sacred, and then there are also the profane realms where there are ghosts and ancestors who have become demoniac, right? They come to also in human situations bring some torment, and also some of them make you forget. They make you not able to see. They make you not able to even breathe and smell the truth and even taste the truth. So sometimes they will also be doing their work, because everybody has a mission.
And so very sweetly we have Rekha Masi who says, you both are my angels, always grateful for your presence in my life, love and adore you both. We love and adore you too. And then we have so many messages of love and care coming in from the Live Collective. And I see Shubhrata, I hear that she had a safe journey back to the US.
Good news about Kavita.
Yes.
So all is well.
All is well. And in that all is well process, we have my beautiful Simran, I think. Yes, Simran, who's asking that, Ma, how do you know who is right? What's that one hack for flirting with our romantic angels and ourselves? So in the material realm, how do we hack this flirtation to know what is angelic and what is demonic?
Because, basically, as human beings, we are always very needy, and we are always wanting and give me, I want. But the angels are always saying, serve the divine, give, and have gratitude in the giving. So every time that the angels are talking to you, it's always about giving. Because this taking is very ghostly and very needy and very demoniac energy.
So then in our personal relationships, the angels, and even if we look at ourselves, is it about a word that came up yesterday, that how are we being pampered and how are we pampering and appreciating the others and ourselves? So could you tell us a little bit more about that?
Basically, we have to understand that, when we were in the womb of our mother and our soul self, it was like a nuclear explosion when the sperm and the egg matched and we were born and our soul came into our mother's womb, and then we collaborated with air, water, fire, earth and space. So now the angels do have a great commitment to earth, to air, to water, to fire. Because some of them come with the light, some of them come with the air prana, somewhere, sound also moves through air and space. But the space that they control is about moving the planets and moving the stars. Sometimes when you go to an astrologer, you'd say, no, this is not possible because it's not written in the stars. The planets are not in alignment. So these angels are also moving those realms because they really love to work in the space that you give them. That's why I always say fragrance and
cleanliness.
light and cleanliness. The angels will rush in to help you when you have that. And anything that you're wanting, give me, those are delivery angels like Swiggy and all, the delivery boys, they are different. And the ones who are taking your gifts in service to your world, they are different. So even as healers, when we are giving healing to ourselves, we are using our hands and our eyes and ears to think, and we're sending out the KQ force light, or we're looking at my golden cloud energies and the torrential rain. It's all about giving to others. So in those moments, we are inspired to give more and more and more. So that is the flirting. That is inviting those angels to come and take and deliver to wherever they're needed. If we are sending healing right now from Delhi all the way to, the Gaza Strip and Israel and all the other nations who are so involved and watching what's happening in that part of the world. There are lots and lots of angelic beings who have congregated and are also doing the healing, so that there's minimal suffering and minimal pain, and anybody who's in some bodily discomfort is also getting the medical treatment and the safety and the protection.
So I think that really answers a lot of questions that are coming in, especially Nishtha Ganguly's question, where she first thanks you, Ma, for this beautiful session. And she says, how can I beckon angels that can guide me and help me? So the three, I'll reiterate for everyone who's just joined in as well, that it's actually what Ma is saying is the cleanliness, the channeling of the healing light or your prayers, and of course, the third, and I feel a really easy, simple action that we can participate with the angels is to surround ourselves with fragrance. So either with kapoor or dhoop or agarbatti or a candle or flowers or plants or even cooking. I feel delicious smelling fresh food. Does that also invite the devgans, the angels?
Yes, they rush in and they are very in service to the divine. They're carrying all those flavors and celebrating and dancing. Sometimes when you're cooking a feast, I see a circle of angels dancing around your house. Sometimes I see angels dancing around planet Earth, and they're always on a mission to just do acts of service in accordance with divine will. Sometimes we say, oh, why did this happen? Because if this hadn't happened now, then it would have become a bigger ball of misfortune. So they delivered it in a small pocket size so that you can deal with it and move on. The angels are always, always, always looking out for your wellness. And they're reflecting on bringing the greatest gifts so that you're open to receiving and your heart is open to receiving, and helping you to change your modalities of thinking, acting, seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, and healing your relationship with planet Earth, with the air prana, with the sunlight and the fire, and of course the water. So they're bringing in truckloads of water to cleanse and purify. So remember that all the elements have the ability to purify and cleanse. You could put a mud pack on your face and that could be a cleanse. You could wash it with water. Otherwise, even with the light, sometimes infrared ray lights on open wounds will also heal in a very magnificent way. And water is, of course,
the greatest healer. And so just to take it to a really cosmic and expansive understanding, Ma, and connecting it to the Let's Heal session we had in the morning, that is it a correct understanding that actually that there are many realms of angels within every atom of the universe?
Yes, of course. And with the Let's Heal, today was about thanking your physical body, but if I'm going back to yesterday, it was about attachment and anger and ignorance. So these are the three things that bring in the negative angels. I'll still call them, people say demons, they call them
But you'll still call them
pichas.
angels.
I still call them angels because they're also rushing in to do some work of the divine and to eradicate those mountains of misfortune that you have created for yourself in different lifetimes. And somebody we call them asuras and suras.
Yes.
The devgans. The asuras, sur means sound. The sound that is negative, that is bringing us some discordant notes of energy that are not suiting us in this moment, in this time. And we are always saying, oh my God, the voice, what I've heard is really negative. But the reality is that it also has a message in it for you of things that you have done or perpetuated against yourself or somebody else, and you have to change.
I was just thinking, like, connecting to the war situation, or even when natural disasters happen, or even if you look at an ambulance, there is that slightly discordant note, which is an asura sound of warning. And so if you heed that warning, then you can convert the asura to a sura. That's really profound, Ma.
And then it's the same as when there's darkness, it can instill some fear. And the minute the light shines, then you can see, the road. Sometimes when you're traveling in the night and there's not a single car on the highway and there's no light, and you're feeling like there's something happening on the sides of the road, and you're always wondering, I hope nobody rushes in, because you can only see to a certain distance. And so the reality is that light and the frequency of sound and the frequency of the earth element that is magnetically keeping us grounded is very, very, very important to our well-being.
Our well-being. And so, Ma, there's Arpita who's joining in, and she's also, everyone's just echoing, so excited and so grateful for all this knowledge that you're sharing with us. And so she asks that, are there also the angels that come as messengers in our life?
Of course, they're always whispering.
Always whispering, and even in the physical form, it could be another human being. Could it, I want to expand it, that could it also be crockery in your cupboard, or it could be a tree that you walk by every day? And how can they be the suras and the asuras of our life?
Because somebody who's I can give an example that once I used to visit the ISKCON temple in Greater Kailash lots and lots of times early in the morning. And then one of my relatives used to live on the other side of this temple. So they had just had some issue with their heart, and they'd been to hospital and they'd come back. And then they came to tell the temple president that you cannot chant Krishna's name.
And you can't do kirtan.
Because it's really disturbing us and the noise is too much. So the temple president went to visit with them and find out what was the complaint about. So they said that, this is very, very difficult, and you are making too much noise, and all the time you're hearing Krishna, 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 and it's very, very irritating. So the temple president said, what is your fear? So they said, with the noise, we could die. So the temple president said, but you'll die with the sound of Krishna in your ears. You'll be liberated.
Yes.
So then they were constantly saying, no, no, no. And do you know what happened? Of course, they lived a happy life because Krishna was making sure, but the angels whispered in their ears that it's time to sell this house.
Oh,
so
that's unexpected. I couldn't have predicted that.
3-4 months, they sold their house and moved. And the people who bought it just loved the sound of Krishna in their ears. And angels came in who wanted to spread the sound of the divine, and they would invite the temple president for a meal, and the story went on and on. And finally, of course, the temple also got new land, and there was a lot of
development
angels,
all around.
Yes.
Wow.
But I still sometimes drive by that place and I see that the sounds that were created there, the angels are still congregating and giving packets of good fortune to whoever's driving by. Yeah, so it's
That's
very,
really
very
mystical
sweet.
and magical.
Yeah.
And gives such a delight in the heart
Yeah,
to know that.
So for some people the sound is a noise, and for somebody else it's the sound of the divine. And sometimes, I remember once teaching in Israel. I go back to Israel because it came up today, and I was teaching a seminar. And so there are some mystical truths from the other worlds that everybody is going to, connect to. So I remember leading a meditation, chanting Om, and some of the Jewish people opened their eyes and said, you're teaching so much from the Kabbalah and how do you know these mystical truths? And I was thinking, really? So the truths were the same, and then they were telling me that they saw this blue person, this angel, and were wearing tiger skin and had long hair, and there were some serpents, and they were describing Lord Shiva's personification, and they had never heard or never seen, but in the meditation they had seen. So those angels will always visit. They are devgans, or an ansh of the divine and manifestation of his personification in different realms. So the point I'm trying to illustrate is that you can be in any religion, any context, you can be born in any part of the world, but when you are really connecting to that mystical aspect of your own self, all the angels are rushing in to help you to convert anger to bliss.
I absolutely am resonating with everything that you're sharing with us, Ma. And it is very surreal. Surreal, harmonious, and actually melodious is what is this entire process. And as we're talking about this conversion of energy and conversion of sound that creates auspiciousness and opulence, especially as we're heading into Deepavali and Diwali, there is a question that comes to my mind where, at least here in India, and because, I spent so much of my growing years in, the interiors and in the villages, and I wanted to just connect and request what kind of healing or what kind of melody of light should be channeled to the places that are haunted, like haunted or traumatized, or demolished with war and natural disasters, so that those ghostly energies should be doused in the light and converted into angelic sounds and blissful energies. And it's actually your entire discourse and sharing about those sounds resonating outside the ISKCON temple and those angels congregating, giving those packets of blessings. So how can we really convert the darkness into light, actually, is my question.
Yes, so it's very interesting that you asked that, and you're referring to, different patterns of different parts of the world where these ghosts and goblins are staying. But the reality is that you are in your own homes. You have these dark and dingy places. There are certain places in your own home that are not being, used. You're not visiting those parts of your home, and these dark angels could be living there.
And could be maybe whispering things that are not pleasant.
So pleasant, and you could hear voices, and you could say that, this is real for me. But the reality is that these are all extensions of the divine sacred beings who have been sent to fulfill the mission. So they could come to excavate the debris of misfortune out of your life.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, so I'm saying that any place in your house that you don't use, any sofas, chairs, I've been to people's homes where they will open their drawing room just for my arrival and say, come and say, And I will go in there and I will say, oh, there's been no human movement for the last 6 months. So I'll ask them, you don't use this. No, we've just spent so many lakhs and lakhs, and we got an interior decorator to do this room. And they made it very ostentatious, but they've not facilitated the use of that room or to enjoy whatever is that money that they spend, because they now want to spend the rest of their life taking care of what they've created. So I always request people, don't do anything so ostentatious. Don't spend so much money on decorating your house. Just keep it clean and just visit every corner of your house and clean it properly, and the light will rush in, and what you call the demoniac, but I call them also angels of light, who come to excavate the debris out of your home. Thank them for having appeared, and thank them for going and taking things away. So they are conductors of the light, channelers of the light, and they are working in divine timing to help you to elicit a positive response from the worlds.
So actually, Ma, have you said that so many times? Actually, you said today that you would not call them demons, you would call them angels, and that they just have a different task and a different purpose.
Yeah.
So I'm just really smiling and giggling to myself that is it actually like that there are different ministries?
Yes,
and
the ministry of sound, the ministry of fire, the ministry of water, and these are all cleansing on planet Earth. And I always say that the sounds, whether it's melodious, you're playing the flute, you're playing the tabla, you're playing even music or chants, hymns or psalms, or you're just connecting to Vedic mantras, or doing a fire sacrifice, like a havan, it's always good. So I was very interesting, somebody's dog passed away recently, and they wrote to me that, we're cremating him and then we're going to do a havan. Can you tell us a good day to do the havan? So I said, all days are good to do the havan, but I gave them the Agni Tithi, that you invite the fire into your home and purify and all. So it was very interesting. Today morning they sent me a message that they're doing the havan today, but guess what they said?
What, Ma?
We're doing it in the garden.
Oh.
So, the angels who are in the garden are different from the angels who are inside your house.
Oh, wow.
So, the garden has got the open air, the sun is shining, earth is present, and water, nowadays when you walk on the grass, it's quite wet and cold, right? So, all the 4 elements, and you're creating space and going to chant. So when you're going to do it in the garden, it's going to be purification for the neighborhood and all. But if you have to purify your home with the havan and the chant, you have to do it inside the house. But a lot of people will say, oh, there'll be need to clean up, and there'll be smoke, and there'll be... So, that people have different ideas. But remember that the chants and the fire sacrifice and what the homa you're doing and cleansing is going to cleanse the walls and the floor of your house and everything. So I'm just saying that people will do things of great fortune for themselves, but just at the last minute they will change the venue, change the place, change the thing. So you will have the asuras and the suras dancing together, right?
Yes, Mom.
And so what will they excavate? Maybe what needs to be excavated from the house, because they are always, the negative angels are always placated by chants and the sound and the crackling of the fire and the water, that we offer the ghee and the liquid energies. So all that is very purifying. And all angels, remember, they come for 3 things. They come to defend you, to assist you, and to protect you. Always remember that. To defend, to assist and to protect.
Defend, assist and protect. I love that, Mom.
As humans, we need their help.
Yes.
We really, really, really need the help, and because they are, cleansing, they're purifying, they're defending, they're assisting, and they're protecting.
So, Mother, we have questions coming in from Jyoti Khurana as well as Ronika, who are asking that they feel that there are angels that are connecting to them and guiding them every single day. Is it just their thought or imagination, or is it really happening? And how can they be in balance in their lives?
Yeah, because if everything is that somebody has to whisper and tell you, and you have no soul consciousness, and you don't have ability, you don't have intelligence, wisdom, intuitive awakening, then I suppose that's part of your plan.
Yes.
But the reality is that it's not the same angels. They are not your slaves and servants that you're going to capture them and they're going to do the work. And I find that very, very strange in people's minds. Angels are constantly changing. Once they've done their work, they're going, whatever the divine ministry, like Divya said, has given you an order. It's like somebody could be, an ambassador representing India in the US, and then he could get an order from the External Affairs Ministry that now you have to move to Japan. So they'll move to Japan, and somebody else in Japan will go to Sri Lanka or will go to Switzerland as an envoy of the government. So everybody is constantly moving. The angels are also constantly moving. They are not coming there as your slaves and servants and whispering to you, do this, do that.
They are actually not serving us. They are serving the divine plan.
Get that straight.
Yes.
They're defending, they're assisting,
and they're protecting the divine plan. And we just happen to be one of the multi gazillion particles of that divine plan. I just thought that was such an important guidance from you, Ma. So that's why I asked that question. So the message for them would be to stay healing, stay in balance, and how to connect to their own strength so that they can move in their life without procrastination and without self-entitlement.
Yeah.
So how would they do that?
So basically you have to understand that the angels come in human form, they come in animal form, they can come in any kind of form, even an object, even a water bottle in your life could be, a personification of an angelic soul. And they are also constantly changing their bodies.
Yes.
They're also, the teacup that you have your tea every morning could be an angel that is nourishing you and is assisting in being the vessel to hold that hot liquid and keep it hot and warm till such time that you partake of it and enjoy it. So they are coming into your house. It could be a pet dog like I was just talking about, right? It could be also an angel, and then when there's some, comfort that you receive, people fall in love with their pets because they're giving them so much of joy and nurturance, and they're very, comforting to have. They can be either a help or an hindrance as well. The same pet dog could be a great help, a source of great pleasure. But supposing you want to go on a holiday, then it could be a hindrance. Somebody will have to stay behind to look after them, or you'll have to spend money, take them to a dog hotel and keep them in pet care. And, so there's always, souls are creating hindrances. It could be about elderly parents. It could be about, even our parents are like angels of light who are helping us to giving us this human body for us to fulfill our spiritual mission and to enact with our intelligence and knowledge that our parents have taught us, and to be grateful to them for having installed in us all that we know. So, people say, oh, I was born with this knowledge. No, you were not born. It came and was built out of the guarding and protecting that your parents gave you. And if you see them as defending you as well when you were young, and communicating divine messages to you, protecting you, helping you to observe, and awakening in you that sustenance of wanting to live and giving you fervor in your life that, you are going to achieve things. You are going to be ambitious, and then to deliver you to the light, to the consciousness, and to care for you even at the point of death. So I think that angels come in many, many forms. They come in great
numbers and colors.
Numbers, and they are visible and they're invisible, and sometimes they're divisible. They're multiplying themselves because you need so much of that. Recently somebody had lost their father, and I'd gone to visit them, and I saw a whole circle of angels protecting the house and comforting and hugging them. And, they kept saying that, oh, we thought that Dad was so popular, but nobody came to assist us. And I kept thinking, so many people came.
Yeah.
And I kept telling them, even one is enough.
Yes.
So it depends on how you're seeing, how you're listening. Even when we talk, we need to listen, and we need to distinguish between the demons, the ghosts and ghouls, the evil spirits in nature, and the hybrid creatures. Sometimes they're very hybrid, right?
Yes, ma'am.
What does hybrid mean, Divya?
A combination of two
physical.
very specific things.
Yeah.
And so it becomes hybrid.
Yeah, so there are angels of Narak also.
Yes.
Narak is hell.
Yes.
And then there are angels who are attendants of the divine, who are doing the good work. So even the negative energies have to be excavated, right?
Yes.
So they're working deep inside the body of Mother Earth, and they're also working outside the body of Mother Earth. So you're always surrounded and helped and assisted. And, I remember that I had met a lady who used to call herself Malike Olali.
Okay.
And she used to say, I'm a manifested angel of the divine.
Okay.
And then she did some not so good things in her human life.
Oh.
And then everybody said that she calls herself Malike Olali, that she's taken the form and the name of the divine, but she's actually a shaitan.
Okay.
So depending on your actions and activities, you could also be an angel, or you could be also a demon.
Or a devil, like Gunjan is asking, what about devils?
Devils
So in
are
the same
mashans
lifetime,
and jinns.
yes.
Yeah.
So in the same lifetime, there are many permutation combinations, and for the angels also there are they can go from one ministry to another.
Yeah.
They can unka transfer ho sakta hai.
Hota hai transfer. Because I'm remembering of one girl who used to come to me, and she used to say that I'm always hungry. And her mother would say that she's always hungry, and her weight doesn't grow even by 1 inch of measurement on her body, and she's wasting away.
Oh.
When I had scanned her, I found that they had a jinn in the house. Somebody had planted it by one of these magic persons who you go to for help, and people think is very mystical.
Voodoo man.
Yeah, voodoo man.
Yes.
And black magic.
Black magic.
So he had planted this jinn who was always hungry.
Oh.
So this girl had got connected to that jinn, and she used to eat, and he used to demand, and she would eat everything in the kitchen with no respect that other people also had to partake of the meal. And then in 2 days we just sent healing, and then the jinn had disappeared. So she was resurrected, and now she lives a very healthy, happy life and eats small portions of food, and she is in perfect weight. So, these are things that can be in your homes. And
that's why the healing light, the cleanliness, the fragrance, and the sound of the divine is so important. And that's what is the defending and the assisting and the protecting.
Yes.
And we have Ritu Gautam Chadda, who has a very heartfelt, beautiful message. She says that all the angels, you are the angels, Ma and Divya, your every book of knowledge, the Radhes, the discourses, the seminars, reels, videos and messages protect, defend and assist all of us.
So
very
sweet.
grateful to
Thank
both
you.
my angels. How very touching.
Sweet.
Grateful. And there is Ash, who says pranams at your lotus feet. He says, I know no angels and only know that you are the divine Ma.
So sweet.
But you know the angels as well.
Yeah, they're in your hands, Ash.
Yes.
So work with your hands and protect and converse, whether you're visible or invisible, the light, whether you are in human form or you are superior, or you're, maybe there are hindrances in your life. You have to use your intelligence, your wisdom, your knowledge, the information, the understanding, the reflection, the contemplation, to always be in service to the divine. So you are a great angel as well.
Yeah.
So be in that atmosphere of being a celestial being. where
Yes,
you're
ma'am.
always doing I think all healers are celestial beings who are angels on planet Earth who are working for the welfare of the other. Whenever you're in the act of giving, you're a great angel.
Yes, and in that magical, mystical way of timing and perfection, there is no coincidence that we're having this Sunday collective just 3 days before Hallows Eve or Halloween. And Gunjan shares that her girls are having a Halloween party today, and so actually that's also like within the Catholic or Christian tradition, it's called All Saints Day, 31st October to 1st November. But originally it was actually a Gaelic and Celtic and ancient European holiday or observance for the changing of the year. And it was called All Hallows Eve, when all the ministries of angels were invited and descend on planet Earth to bless every being for the year ahead. So I love that synchronicity of the universal knowledge with the knowledge that you're channeling with us now.
And this year, on 31st, is also the movement of Rahu and Ketu who are changing position. And I think they're bringing Amrit. Because Amrit is the sacred drink of power. And where do we find the maximum Amrit? Is in the water. So everybody should drink water. Pure water, not colored water. Before people say, okay, this alcohol drink is very nice, I'm not recommending that. I'm not even recommending juices, people saying, okay.
Or teas or coffees, it's just
pure
water.
Nectarian water, which is Amrit. So the Asuras, the Rakshas, the Pichas, the Dakinis, Shakinis, everybody will be put to rest if you just drink water and use that water element to bathe your body and, also clean your ears, your nose. And I always say that cleansing with water is very, very purifying.
Purifying, yes, ma. And we have many voices, whether it's Parul or it's Pashwati and few others who are wanting to know that what is the path to becoming an angel for others and oneself in this lifetime. I have the answer. It's being a healer. You are a healer. And of course, Ma is going to tell us other ways as well that we can be angels for ourselves and others. And then there is a resonance in the whole collective where they are asking, Ma, that how do we identify or stay away from the asuras or the demons or the devils and then only be with the angels? And I feel that Ma has already answered that we need all of them because they all are serving a purpose and they are all assisting us, protecting us and defending us in some way. So Ma, how do we, I'll repeat the questions in parts so that everyone is tracking. So how can we be an angel for others and ourselves?
Yeah, I can, go back to just this Navratri. Anubha and Raksha come to do, give service to the Guru. Every Saturday they come and they assist Divya with some of the work that is pending. So it was Navratri and they were supposed to be here at work at 9:30 and we had a meditation where we were doing the chanting and singing and all. So they had left their house to be here in time. And when I finished the meditation, I suddenly saw outside the midnight galaxy this huge congregation of devas and devis and special energies and all the people who were coming into the gate. And we were also announcing our Starlight exhibition.
Diwali exhibition, which is
full of new healing yantras and candles and everything. So I felt that, wow, we're really blessed. And then I picked up the phone and I asked one of my boys that who's come through the gate right now. So they said, well, Anubha and Rachna aaye hain, that
they have entered, yes.
So I was really impressed. So when I met them, I said, so you did the meditation on the way? So they said, yes. So it takes them about an hour plus to reach. So they were doing the meditation in the car and the chanting and Divya was chanting and I was chanting and So the sound and the synchronicity of all the service that they did by spreading that sound all the way in that 1 hour, people, traffic, birds, trees, animals, everybody was so grateful for that sound that the congregation had come with them, blessing them all the way. So the point I'm trying to illustrate is that you could be doing any activity. The angels are always reciprocating. They're always defending, they're always protecting, and they're always assisting you. And I saw in the evening when they were going, many of the angels had done their work and left, and many went with them home.
Oh, wow.
And so
That's
it's a
amazing.
very, very sweet, vision that's going to stay with me for a long time. I'm not recommending that you do meditation in the car
No.
while you're driving, but if it's a chanting, you can.
Yes.
Even if somebody is playing Hanuman Chalisa going to work in the car, they're also doing that
Yes, ma'am.
great service to humanity at large
Absolutely, ma.
to protect. So use your superior intellect, use the magical abilities of sharing. Even if you take out some money and give it to a person who's needy, or you give a fruit or a packet of biscuits, or something that is going to assist or relieve that person's hunger, I think is the greatest joy. You are an angel in their life.
I love that, ma.
Yeah.
And we have Ananya Bansal, who asked that when and what is this Diwali exhibition? So, ma, would you like to tell us a little bit about
Yes, Divya,
the
you should
Starlight
tell.
Company?
The Starlight Company is always looking
Annually
looking out for what are the energies of the coming year, and we design certain yantras. And definitely for Diwali, Dhanteras, Choti Diwali, even Narak Diwali, we have special candles that we light for Lord Yamraj, and for, people do a lot of black magic. So to protect you from that, we chant mantras on the wax, and we do, special healing candles for lighting
for the
Lakshmi
entire year
Swagat.
ahead.
Yeah, for the year ahead. So these are all available, and we have new yantras, and every year we bring up something that is designed to help you for the rest of your life, at least starting from this point forward. So we start this in the Navratri, and it continues till Diwali morning.
Yes, ma. And so all the beautiful Lakshmi Charan and the Lakshmi Swagat and the Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu candle, which we've launched for the first time, the Beej candle that we've launched for the first time, is all for protection, for defending, and for assisting. So I think it's a perfect collaboration of the light and the empowerment channeled by Ma into these beautiful candles made in our factories that come to you with lots of love and light.
Nice, yeah.
And so, you can get in touch with Mr. Mathur in our office on the WhatsApp numbers that all of you
Or
have.
just drop in at the
Or
Midnight
just drop in
Galaxy.
at the Midnight Galaxy and have a look any day, Monday to Saturday.
And you'll become a celestial being.
Yes.
Who take that candle and light it in your neighborhood, and it'll help so many souls that you as human beings will become angels of light.
Absolutely. And there's a very sweet question that Pooja Udit Pathak asked. And so I think that's perfect to end it, because it's a very practical question, I feel, Ma. That she asked that as we go through our life, do the angels also appear when numbers are being repeated? I think a lot of people have this understanding.
111,
And 666 and 999. Yes.
This is very bad. 1111.
Yes,
I've seen.
yes.
Yeah, that's like called OCD.
Exactly. So that's what I wanted Ma to
Obsessive,
clarify.
Compulsive disorder.
So don't get obsessed with the numbers.
And remember that the angels are helping you, irrespective of whether you're seeking their help or not.
So when these numbers are repeating, Pooja, and for everyone else, like I can give an example. Supposing you get up at 7 one morning, and then you go to an event and there's 7 people, and then you come home and there are 7 missed calls on your number. So that is a pattern that you are becoming aware of, and then that's creating a mental illness in you. So don't get trapped by that, because numbers are always repeating all the time, aren't they, Mom?
Yeah,
and they
absolutely.
are changing all the
All the
time.
time.
Yes.
So you should really be in symphony. Remember, the harmonics of the universe are vibrating at a frequency of light that is equally available for everyone.
Absolutely.
You know, so visualize it that you're in a place and they've cooked this big pot of tea and they're serving cups and cups and cups of tea. And which cup is coming to you is your karmic record.
Absolutely.
So whether you get it a little bit later and it's not as hot as you like it, that's part of your destiny. So if you will heal yourself, you will get your hot cup of tea, whatever time it arrives in your hand. And this mystical hand also has an angel in it that's going to take it to sip from it.
So know
and
that
be
every
grateful.
atom, every molecule, every strand of hair, everywhere, all the time, there are angels. So
And mathematically, they are congregating all the time in huge numbers.
So be grateful.
And don't invite the demoniac energies in. Always be very respectful and be ready to defend, to assist,
And to protect.
Love you all. Bye. See you.